Your PMU business is likely to fail if you aren't doing these critical things. I am Maya Moore of More Beauty Love Studio and Academy, and I am here today with Jamara Moore, my business partner, co-owner of More Beauty Love Studio and Academy, and my husband. And today we're going to talk about how to grow your PMU business. So, Jamar, let's talk about it. So, what are some ways that businesses will not fail? You got some tips?
Yeah, this is a great topic and thank you for having me. I'm super excited. This is like my first time being on your YouTube channel. So how cool is that? You mean you're like
Oh
YouTube famous at this point and
my God.
being on video here and so this is just super cool. I have to first say that. But yes, this is like a really, really important topic.
Yes.
Growing your business. And of course, I've watched you through the years be super passionate about permanent makeup and brows and going to conferences and training people all over the world. And I'm just taking a brief moment to brag about you for a second
I
and,
see. I'm
and,
appreciative.
and doing all these amazing things. And so, over these last several years, obviously you've seen it, I've seen it. Just a number of people enter the industry and, now I think it's a more important time than ever to like really, really focus on like just strategies and tips that can really help people grow and focus on being the best artist that they can be, and not only artist, but business owner.
Yeah.
So, you asked the question. I think, part of it I might throw back at you with questions, but one thing that I think people can start to do immediately is like really understand like, what their goals are and what do they want to become, in the industry. So, if you're starting out, do you want to own your own studio? Do you want to run and manage your own studio and all that comes with that, right? Or do you want to be a part of a team, be in someone else's studio? I think that's the first critical question that a person has to answer, right?
Yeah, of course. I think that just in general, it's safe to assume that most people that especially if someone who's entering the industry, most people want to be entrepreneurs and start their own business. I think we often have to enlighten people on the benefits of working with a team and maybe working, and when you're starting out, to maybe work with an established studio or academy, et cetera. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's important. I mean, like if you're starting out and you're not really wanting to like have all that responsibility of like booth rent or like having your own studio. Definitely joining a team certainly is a good alternative. It's a lot, a lot less stress, and typically maybe that if it's an established studio, they may also help you get clients and just really, like,
Yes.
really jumpstart your career.
Yeah, I think another great thing about working at an established studio is the ability to have like on the job training. So
Yeah.
if you have questions, you're not sure what pigments to use, you're not sure if the brow mapping is on point or the design that you created or the work is, saturated properly, you have someone there that you can ask, how does this look? Am I on the right track? Is this the right color? And you're training yourself while they're telling you what they recommend. So, and it's harder to get that when you are a solopreneur because basically people want you to pay for those types of services. You're not going to just be able to ask online, oh, so what did you use? All the time, people are going to feel like you're mooching, like, okay, take a class. But when you're in that environment with them, with those other team members who have more experience than you, it's an easy way for you to grow quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's so true. I mean, sometimes those scenarios could be rare, but if you find those scenarios, I know we've done a lot, here at our studio where we've helped a lot of artists get started and grow and nurture and develop them. And, they've become fabulous artists. But, certainly that's definitely an option out there for people. And I would probably say it's probably the easiest option, again, if you can
Yeah,
find a
yeah,
setup
if you
like
can
that.
find it.
Yeah, yeah. One other thing, so as you mentioned, if you're in the studio, if you don't want to go that route, and let's say, you're just out there, right? You got trained or you've been trained for a while, and maybe you do have your own space, whether it be, you're renting a space or you have your own studio that you manage. It can be tough to grow in this industry, right? And especially depending on when you got in, because I think now more than ever, it's become a little bit more saturated. And you've seen a lot of people come in and before they might specialize in one focus area. I know you in particular, Maya, you started out in microblading and then sort of like moved into ombre and shading. And now like you're this amazing nano queen and now you're boasting about the best healed nano results, right? And so you've been able to establish yourself for a while now, but for others maybe it might be a little bit harder, and so maybe they might want to consider um maybe thinking about other areas of permanent makeup. Maybe if you're, coming in as a microblader or nano or ombre, maybe you might also add lip blush, right? Or eyeliner, or now this big thing of tiny tattoos has come up.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Do you think people should, maybe think about other areas as a focus?
Yeah, I think that it's always good, a good idea in theory to have as many services that you can perform as possible because that client, you're going to retain that client a lot longer. If you've done their brows, you can add on a service. So, would you like your lips done or would you like liner? So, you're able to monetize on that person more than one time, which is really important because, again, clients may be scarce at this point in time. So the more times that you can, receive revenue from one person, the better. Because you don't know when that next client is going to walk through the door, like that client who is cold and new and you've never had any relationship with them. That person that you've done their brows or you've done one service already, they're warm. They know you, they know what to expect, they know your level of service. So they're more likely to patronize you again. So I
Yeah.
think that's great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like to use the example of their airlines, right? It's like,
Oh my
you purchase
God.
your ticket
Oh,
2 months in advance, but by the time you get to well, skip that. But before you even get to the airport, they're like, do you want to upgrade your
want to
seat?
upgrade your seats.
And
Yes.
so to get you on that, and then by the time you get to the airport, you bought all these snacks and you spent like $100 before you even get on the plane. You get on the plane, and then they're like, "Hey, we'll sell you these headphones or whatever else they want to sell
Credit
you,
cards
credit
for
card
your
deals."
points. Yeah.
Yeah, all of these things, right? But there's a strategy to upsell, and that, as you mentioned, as you're an artist, starting out, or even if you're established, really thinking about how can you monetize your customer more than one time. And that's especially true if you're someone that's new. Maybe you're starting out as a lash artist or someone that's, providing other beauty services. This is a great opportunity to do that, right? So
Yeah.
I think you may raise an amazing point when you talk
Yeah.
about.